Greetings and welcome to another series of weekly devotionals here at Forks United Church of Christ, where we take a look at one of the lectionary readings and offer some thoughts for reflection. And this week we're going to look at a story that's found in the second book of Samuel, chapter 6, some verses from verse 1 through verse 19, which tells a story about King David and his presentation of the Ark of the Covenant of God to the people of Israel. I started wearing this cross. My aunt gave me this cross a couple weeks ago, and I'm not really a big fan of wearing jewelry, but the cross is meaningful because it was my uncle's, and my aunt is sort of the last remaining member of her generation. My last surviving aunt on that side of my family. And so wearing this cross sort of reminds me of all those people, my mom and dad and aunts and uncles, that entire generation who remains with me now only in spirit. And the Ark of the Covenant is sort of in that same vein, a symbol of remembrance for the people of Israel. Most of us, perhaps, the overriding remembrance of the Ark of the Covenant for us might be from the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark, which came out in 1980, I think. And in that movie, if you remember, the Ark of the Covenant is sort of almost a sinister symbol. Evil spirits flow forth from the Ark and end up giving the villains of the story a rather unpleasant fate. But in the scriptures, the ark was a sacred object. It was a wooden container that held the remnants of the stone tablets given to Moses on Mount Sinai by God. And the people of Israel carried this ark around with them because it was a symbol. It was a symbol, first of all, of their liberation from slavery, the story of the Exodus, that Moses had led the people out of Egypt and into the Promised Land. Also, the Ark of the Covenant reminded the people of Israel of Moses, their great teacher, and how God had provided for them prophets and teachers throughout the ages that had led them. But most importantly, the Ark was a symbol of divine presence. It was a symbol of God's presence that was always with them. And so the ark was a very important symbol for the people of Israel and for their lives of faith, for their relationship with God. You know, I'm often fond of saying that the church needs to leave the building, that the church is the people and not the building, not the physical things within the church building. But having said that, I think that the church building can be and is an important symbol for people. The stained glass and the wood and the pews and the various paintings and other artifacts inside can remind us in a very profound way of God's presence, and that God indeed is present with us always. And so this week we're going to take a look at some of those symbols in our faith, symbols that are important to us and that remind us of God's presence. Perhaps today we might just spend a few moments thinking about and reflecting on those important things, symbols that remind us, indeed, that God is always with us. Amen.